Hey, what's up guys? Diver Down Reefer here. Just wanted to show you one of my new pieces of equipment I just got in. It's the Skimz MBR 127 Macroalgae Reactor. Got it from a good buddy of mine, Billy Pipes. If you guys don't know of him or haven't subscribed to his channel, go check him out. He's got a lot of innovative things going on with his channel right now. He's got new frag tank going on, custom made DIY, Korean sumps, ATOs, the whole 9 yards. His channel's excellent. Just go check him out if you already haven't. So here's my unboxing of, again, the Skimz MBR 127 Chaeto reactor. It is an in the sump Chaeto reactor. It means you can basically sit it right inside the sump. You don't have to mount it high up on the sides or figure out some way of mounting it or off to the side of your cabinet or anything like that. You can put it right in, just basically just like a skimmer itself. So as I'm unboxing this Chaeto reactor, there's some clips there that they wanted you to use to clip your Chaeto to the side of the inside of the chamber. I'm not really going to use them whatsoever. Opening up the main compartment, the actual reactor itself, where it is all blacked out, so none of the light travels through and creates any algae problems in your sump whatsoever. Now with this reactor, guys, you have basically two power supplies. You have one power supply for the pump itself that pumps the water into the reactor, and then you also have one power supply for the actual lighting bar. The orange tube you see here, guys, is actually the lighting bar. It had about 15 pieces of tape on it, so I unboxed that behind the scenes. Alright guys, I got it all unboxed, got it over here at the table. Just wanted to show you how it all connected up. The basic assembly of it, pretty simple stuff here. Again, you have two power supplies to the unit. The light bar, which basically looks like a heater that you'd put in your sump with lights in it. It's a pretty nice light. That has a power supply, cord coming off of it. You just basically plug it in like you see here, very simple. You guys done it a million times. And then you have the other power supply for the controller there. It's got a little bit different of a connection to it, but pretty simple altogether. Just basically take the end off of the actual reactor and then the end off of the controller. It's your typical 3-prong adapter, plug, whatever you want to call it. If you line them up right, like not what I'm doing there, but I'll get it eventually. Plug it in, push it together, and then you screw that little cap down tight so it doesn't come apart. Pretty nice connection, nice tight connection on that. Alright guys, pretty easy installation for the lighting bar. You basically just take the end of the lighting bar and push it right through the hole on the top. It does say to wet it down a little bit so it slides a little bit easier. Of course, I didn't do it that way. I just slid it right through. So it was a little tight, but it slid right through all the way. You want to make sure you push it all the way down. It's just a rubberized connection on the top where the whole light goes all the way down, pretty much all the way to the bottom of the reactor itself. Push it all the way in, and it seals up pretty nice and tight at the top. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to plug it in and let you guys see the light that it produces. It does say in the manual that you shouldn't leave the light on for any length of time without it being wet. Could burn the light out since it is water cooled. So there's the light inside of the chamber. It does have two separate chambers inside of that reactor, one on the bottom, one on the top, to put your Chaeto. Alright guys, the next step here is to actually install the unit and the Chaeto. So I basically have two pieces of Chaeto, one for the bottom chamber. I slide in the bottom chamber, and when you insert the trays into the reactor itself, there's a pipe on the back side, which is actually where the overflow of water comes out of. That slides into this little port down below in the bottom of the chamber itself, and then there's your lighting bar that connects up to the top of that acrylic top. And then I put my other piece of Chaeto in the top chamber. When you slide this acrylic plate down on top of the reactor, it's got 5 key slided holes that slide right over top of the heads of the bolts. If you leave the bolts up high enough, it won't be any problem. You have enough room there to twist it into the key lock and then just tighten the bolts down. I did have a couple problems with it when I first put it on. When I took it out of the box originally, the gasket came off of it, and I had to stretch the gasket and twist it a little bit to get it back into place, but it wasn't, all in all, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a little bit frustrating at the time, but once you do it once or twice, you'll get the hang of it. Not a big deal. Now that the bolts are all tightened down, it's time to get her into the sump. So you basically put her right in the sump, pretty simple, just like a protein skimmer. Remember, there are 2 power supplies to it, one for the pump and one for the light itself. So basically what I do is I just took the wires and transferred them over to the right side of my cabinet where all my electronics are. This reactor is about 7 inch by 7 inch. It sits in my sump and fits in pretty well. It's about 17 inches tall. They do have a bigger one if you needed a bigger one. This one fits in my sump pretty well. And here it is with everything running on it. The pump's running on it, Chaeto's in it, lights on it. Everything's working, so we'll see how this thing works. Just put it in a couple days ago now, and we'll see how she works. I'll give you guys a couple reviews as the weeks go by, and hopefully the Chaeto is going to be growing. I have to do a little bit of wire management there, guys, where it comes from my sump chamber over to my electronic chamber. Just wanted to show you where I installed the controller. I just ran it over to this side where my other controllers are, my Red Sea Reefer 425XL. That controller is adjustable. You can run it higher or lower depending on how much Chaeto's in the actual reactor. Peace.